Well, you cannot beat a bit of ruthless German precision, can you, Chris?
You can't. BMW have got an e-mountain bike on the way, and it's looking pretty interesting.
Pedal assist, right?
Yeah, full pedal assist.
Yeah, well, we're going to be looking at the full detail. Well, I never thought I'd see the day when Bayerisch Motor and Work came up with a mountain bike.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd-looking bike, but I really love the tech that these big car companies can bring to mountain biking, and I think they've used their experience from their electric cars and brought it to two wheels, right?
But the name, Chris, Amby, you expect something a bit more aggressive from that company?
It kind
You
of
know, the shark face to those cars?
Yeah, I think it reminds me of like a child's pushchair or something, an Amby.
What, perambulator?
Something like that. But the tech in this bike, Steve, I mean, look at that list. Super futuristic looks of this bike. I mean, look at the lines of it, 120mm travel front and rear.
So it is a mountain bike.
It is a mountain bike. It looks pretty aggressive geometry on this thing. I mean, look at the head angle, quite a low bar on that. But as I say, the tech on it, I mean, single-sided swing arm on the back.
Well, you say tech. I mean, British engineer Alan Milliard had a hermetically sealed single-sided swing arm 10 years ago on a mountain bike. True, the mountain bike industry didn't take up on the idea. He couldn't sell his patent to the industry, but yeah, fair dues to BMW for bringing it out.
How about a 2,000 watt-hour battery that can charge from it takes 3 hours to charge from flat and has a range of 375 kilometers.
That's a lot of range. It's going to come with weight though. I'd like to know what the weight is of this bike. Have you got any details on that?
I don't have got the details of the weight, but I mean that weight's down nice and low, and it looks like quite a full-on battery as well there as well.
Yeah. Carbon belt drive, inbuilt gearbox. That's pretty good. I mean, I think we're going to be seeing, this year's Eurobike show, IAA show. We saw FEV, we saw Cavalier, we saw Revonte. It's great that, is it actually going to take a car company to come out with a combined motor gearbox?
Possibly, with the amount of financial sort of input they can put into it. That's what I like about this.
Like the mountain bike industry short of cash?
True, probably not. But the other things on this bike as well, it's got 3 different power modes, so it depends on where you are. It's got geofencing like on the bike, so it knows where you are in the world and what track you're riding.
That's nothing new.
Actually adjust what limit that speed the bike can be ridden at.
Don't get carried away here, Chris.
Which I think that's pretty cool. It's got radar on it to allow you to follow at certain distances, ABS, tyre pressure monitors. The app is pretty mind-blowing too. It's got facial recognition on there to start and stop the bike.
That's not bad. I like that. I mean, do you ever seen those trucks that go down the motorway and they can recognise if there's a slow vehicle in front?
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I could be down a track, right? I could be on the BMW. I could be following you and thinking, oh, look at this slow bugger in front of me. Perfect.
Get into that extra power mode. And there's other things on there, like even the holder that holds your smartphone that connects to it as inbuilt wireless charging. I mean, it's literally mind-blowing.
It is. But let's not forget, Chris, it's a concept. It's a vision.
Yeah.
It's not for sale yet, right?
Not yet. But as I say, I just think all of this tech stuff, if it just drips into our mountain bikes that we ride on the trails today.
Chris, I don't want it to drip in, I want it to flood in.
2,000 watt-hour battery that charges from flat in 3 hours.
You say that, do we actually need 2,000 watt-hour batteries? What I'd like to see is like a 750 watt-hour battery, which is, like a kilo. Surely that's what the future is. I mean, that battery there, that's going to put... I mean, that shows that they are a car company, not a mountain bike company, because that weight is going to make the centre of gravity quite high in it. And I imagine it's not going to corner like
not like a regular bike.
Like a what? Give me an example of a really good cornering bike. Well, something with a low bottom bracket and a low... Kenevo SL.
Corners on rails.
But guys, what do you think about the Amby? One thing's for sure, I think that name needs changing.
For sure.
But yeah, you're right. Some good ideas in there, some good vision, good concepts, and hopefully more to come from Bayerisch Motor and Work.
We shall see.
Well, folks, from some futuristic mountain bike technology to heated goatskin gloves. I mean, really?
I don't know about you, but coming from motorbikes, you get on a push bike and you go for a cold ride, there's nothing worse not going into a descent and not being able to use your brakes properly and having numb hands. I think it totally ruins winter riding.
I'm not being funny, Chris, but motorbikes go at 120 mile an hour, not 25 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, but you still get numb hands, and I think on an e-bike, when you're not necessarily going half a level all the time, you don't get as much blood and circulation going in your fingers, so I suffer from it. I don't know. You don't get numb hands, numb fingers?
I suffer from other things
You
other
just
than numb
sat
hands.
inside having a cup of coffee when it's snowing
But
outside.
then, I spent most of my life outside with no gloves. So,
True.
But tell us, Chris, about these sealskins heated gloves. I did not think I didn't think the day would come. Go on.
You've got 5 to 6 hour runtime on these.
There's a runtime.
Yes, you get 5 to 6
Jesus
hours
Christ.
of it. Rechargeable inbuilt battery, as you mentioned.
No, I'm done.
Three different power
I'm
levels.
I'm over it.
Goat skin palms, it's nice and thin, and you can obviously get motorbike versions of these, but they're going to feel like massive thick gloves compared to these ones that come from sealskins. And £150, going to keep your fingers nice and toasty all year round. Not a big fan,
Chris,
Steve.
you can keep your goat skin gloves. Let's move on to something a little bit more relevant.
Yeah, Stan's have just released their M-Pulse hubs, which are quite a cool take on an old design. Now, a standard free hub body has little pulls that engage on springs every time that wheel spins, which makes that buzzing noise essentially, and all that's doing is a lot of friction when that wheel's freewheeling. So they've actually introduced magnetic pulls into the free hub design, meaning that it works on a magnet rather than relying on a spring to push that pull to engage it on your free hub. So
Does that, I looked at some of the chat about this. It says that it freewheels faster.
yeah.
Really?
So you've got less, obviously, contact all the time. You've got those pulls, as I mentioned, which are literally
Cause
being
friction.
flicked into there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you're removing that friction, in turn, you're going to have a faster freewheeling hub. So
You won't have a nice noise though, will you?
you won't have a nice noise. It could be pretty silent, but I think if you're looking to, increase your speed a little bit, maybe, on those downhill tracks and stuff, then this could definitely
What's
be
your
a big-
favourite hub? Do you like a noisy hub or a
I
silent
do
hub?
like a nice noisy hub, like those
Do you?
Industry 9 hubs or Chris King or a Hope.
Yeah, you see,
something like that.
well, I like the Chris Kings. I like the Onyx though. It's really quiet, really
yeah.
substantial sort of BMX style hub.
yeah.
So
But I think it's cool stuff going, and I think, if you do want to get those extra maybe point of a mile an hour or a few seconds on a local run,
is this going to be a silent hub then?
I think so, yeah.
Right, so which is good because then you can hear, your tires ripping the ground rather than the freewheel going.
Something like got an angry bee following you down the trail, but it's quite expensive. Those wheel sets are starting at $965 for.
Well, you say that. That's not really that expensive,
too bad,
is it?
is it? But-
you could, a carbon wheel set is going to be $2,000. I'd rather spend my money on something like this than a plastic wheel, which is going to crack.
And the pickup of these is almost.
I'm not saying all carbon wheels crack, mind.
But the instantaneous
Most of them
pickup
do.
is really good on this as well. As soon as you push the cranks, it's going to engage as well. So yeah, interesting stuff, and maybe worth taking a look at for your e-bike for sure.
And moving on from gloves and free hubs to this. I think this is going to be good, Chris, because when I'm going to be following you down the hill on my BMW e-bike, and you're going to be slow in front, and I'm going to be slowing down
With your radar going
These
off.
new Magic Shine e-bike lights are going to be just the job. 4,500 lumens, Garmin mount, so pretty universal there. Waterproof. I'd hope that lights are waterproof.
Definitely.
What else is the detail on there?
It weighs in at 76 grams, fits to pretty much any of the big motor manufacturers out there, so you get all the leads, and of course it just powers off your battery on your e-bike, meaning you don't have to have those annoying battery packs dangling off your bike or on your helmet. So yeah, just super slimline, 140 quid as well, so pretty good value as well. It's got daylight running mode on there as well, so if you are riding your bike just in the day, it activates a light, but it is at a lower rate than it is, when you're out properly night riding. So
Do you do
pretty
much
cool.
night riding?
I want to, but being dad,
But what?
it just restricts me. I'll get home, the kids have dinner, and then you're like, oh, shall I go out? And it's 9 o'clock before you know it, and you're like, nah, not tonight.
You go to bed. So there you go, folks. I think some really cool bits of tech on this week's show. Let us know your thoughts, particularly on that new Amby bike and the goatskin gloves. Folks, we have got some new tops on EMBN. We've got a blue, we've got a green, and we've got this
Digital camo as well.
digital camo. Obviously still in my black. But yeah, please check out the shop. There's some really good stuff there. Helps us on the channel no end.
Yeah.
Moving on to what's on the channel this week. On Friday, things not to do on your e-mountain bike.
Yeah, there's plenty of
Is
those,
there
Steve.
any?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know some of those things,
I mean,
surely.
I can think maybe going through water. On Sunday, we've got first part, actually it's the second part of our North American trip, where we go into the backcountry with Cannondale and Bosch ambassador Mark Weir. Gets pretty wild.
So looking forward to seeing that one for sure. And on Monday, you're taking a look at plus tyres again, then revisited.
Revisiting Plus, yeah. I mean, the mountain bike industry was washed with, the 2.8, 3-inch tyres 5-6 years ago, but they kind of got forgotten.
I miss them.
There's loads of pluses from Plus. You've got the comfort, you've got the grip, the cushioning. And I've been doing a little bit of back-to-back in on those tyres, and I think it's worth tuning into the revisited world of Plus.
Nice.
Chris, quite a few comments on your first of your monster e-mountain bike series.
Yep.
You were out with Finn on his contraption.
That was a hell of a day out. It was pretty struggle to get on that thing, but yeah, riding it was definitely a big experience. We've got loads of good comments as well. So got one here from second, third, and first in. When he said I have a cool high bike for you, I expected something very different, like a high bike X-Duro N10 or mountain. So glad you got a little joke there as well. Checking out a high bike. I've got Amarok Starwind here. The problem I have with tool bikes is that
It's a good name, isn't it? Amarok Starwind.
It is, isn't it? The problem I have with
Can
tool
you imagine
bikes...
me call it Amarok Star? I might actually call you that from now on. Amarok Starwind.
The problem I have with tool bikes is that they never have appropriately sized wheels. So this bike had 26-inch wheels on. I think, have you seen that tool bike that Connor's got in the lockup?
No.
With the 36-inch wheels? You've not seen that?
Connor's one of our colleagues, by the way.
And we got one from Old Blokes Who Should Know Better. And just like that, the issue of pedal strikes is gone forever. Of course, having these cranks 5 foot up in the sky, you're never going to clip your pedals again.
Well, we do like a good bit of adventure on EMBN, and Kabayan has been out in China and has done a monster ride on his bike with a trailer at times.
Yeah,
beautiful
trailer on there, looking like he's seen some amazing sights, getting in some miles, and unfortunately lost his keys to change his battery, so he had to do the return journey with no battery power, dragging that trailer on a 5-inch tyre fat bike. Doesn't sound like much fun to an end of an adventure.
That could be a trip, couldn't it? Kabayan and Amarok Starwind.
Oh, I can imagine that.
Now that's a series I'd like to watch.
Definitely, we love seeing all your adventures and of course all your pictures and videos, so make sure you use the upload service to get featured on the show, and the details for that are up on screen.
Chris, I've not been out and about with the EMBN audience for a while, so it better be up to scratch. And
it is,
wow,
Steve.
look at it, look like it is. We've got Kevin, an E150 white and an Orbea out in Orkney. Oh my God, look at this. This is
cold.
Dun and Bothy up in Perthshire. That's what it's all about, right? That is what it's all about in my eyes. Folks, what's your thoughts on
You must have
on
saved
Ray
a few
there?
bodies in a few years, haven't you?
A little bit, not with goatskin gloves though, I haven't. And Wolf Flyer Up Rock, I do love the flyer bikes up in the Taunus Mountains. And a little bit of fat bike action here, Northwood Bigfoot VLT in Green Lake Whistler.
Using those fat bikes in the right place as well. Looks
Yeah,
cool, doesn't
and finally the snow has hit Finland. I was going to say hitting Finland. Sorry, hitting Finland. This is Mika and High Bike All Mountain 6 down in the southwest
Minus
of that.
10 degrees. You'd be having your goatskin gloves on there, Steve, for sure.
He did goatskin
Max
gloves.
power.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right, it's time for my favourite part of the show,
Oh,
the
don't
bike
give
ride.
me that. You always say that every week.
It is my favourite part of the show. Whether
Really?
these guys are going to get nice or super nice to their bikes.
Or you're just jealous about their bikes and the places they get to.
Maybe.
Let's give people some this week on their photographs. And we got Audrey and her special, sorry, not Audrey at all, it's Andri and the Specialist Turbo Levo out in Bunelli Park.
I'm liking this shot. It looks kind of eerie to me.
Eerie, how do you spell that?
Like this, eerie. You got it. I don't know, it looks kind of
My
spooky.
wife said I had orange ears the other day.
Really?
What do you think? Yeah.
Don't know. Oh my God.
Huh?
I
like
you're
orange
on the side
ears.
of my local church, aren't you? Gargoyle.
Gargoyle, that's the second time this week I've been called Gargoyle.
Easy riding at local trails. I think that's got to be a super nice to me, don't you think?
It's beautiful, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Moving on, Chris, to a cube.
Yeah, from Eddie's. He's out in Rhine in Germersheim. Germersheim.
Oh, I do miss your pronunciation.
Dude, don't you?
Yeah.
But that's got an
Eerie.
upside down RockShox fork on the front of that. Quite a different fork, isn't
I
it?
think it's super nice.
Super nice, okay. Next
Eerie
shot.
pronunciation. look at this then. This looks like someone next to my place. No, it's Nottingham. It's Tim and his Marin Alpine Trail. Sunset?
Sunset, is it?
I think it's super nice.
Gotta be super nice.
And so is this next one. That's got to be. I really like the angle on this. Shows off Stevens Coupe 160 and Hebden Bridge.
And the tan walls, of course.
Gorple.
Gorple.
We got some names this week, haven't we?
Gorple
Amrock Star Wind in Gorple Reservoir. Wow, you can't write this stuff. You can't go write this stuff. Did we give that a super nice or a nice? Super nice.
I think that was a super nice.
Yeah,
and the final bike for this week, Steve, what have we got?
It's a Husqvarna. We've actually got into trouble with the pronunciation of Husqvarna.
Husqvarna, isn't it? No, Husqvarna.
It's not a Husqvarna. It's Husqvarna.
Husqvarna.
So I don't know, folks. Let us know if you're from Sweden on the correct pronunciation of some eerie Husqvarna bikes in the woods. But is it a nice or super nice?
It is. Thierry, he's out in Portugal in Madeira.
Terry.
Nice new jump as well. He's built there, like a step-up landing, is it? Wouldn't want to come up short on that jump, but yeah, nice shot. I think ending that one with a super nice as well. All super nice this week. Love seeing all your bikes here on the Bike Vault. Get involved, use that upload service to get featured on the show. And that is it for this week's show, isn't it, Steve?
It is this week's show. It's nice to be back in the hood with you, Chris.
It is.
Chris has actually got a hood. These are good hoodies these have, by the way.
Let us know what you think about that BMW new bike and all the latest tech from that, and of course all the other items from this week's show.
Amby.
And we be
going.
And we should see you next week. Cheers.